Good morning. This is Shante with Brown Sugar Talk under Black Unicorns, darling. Okay, so anyway, today I was gonna talk about. I know this is so. It's just like giving your children talks about sex. Like in my house, it's okay. Like if he knows something and he wanna ask me, he just ask. It's not a problem. If he watching TV and it's too vulgar, I say, hey, you watching TV, it's too vulgar, you know? It's like, well, he has to defend his point. What it is that he picking up on, what he not picking up on, what he like and what he don't like, and all this different stuff. And if he agree with me, he'll stop. If not, he'll say, nah, mom, this is not what you think it is. Like, I'm looking at it because this person just doing this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, all right. So I can make the choice to believe him or not. I can make the choice for it to continue or not. And usually because even if he disagree, if I find it distasteful, he'll be like, okay, I am not doing this. I am not doing this. So it's not even a situation. I guess because we talk, I don't have to worry about like the whole whipping thing or whatever like that. Not to say it doesn't happen, but that's just how it is. So the first time I found out he was like looking at porn, he was like hiding his phone and the sound was down. He really wanted the headphones. I'm like, what is he doing? So I find out, and it's a huge argument. And I'm not even the one that's fighting. It's him. And I'm like, what's going on with you? So he fighting, da da da. Again, don't talk about your kids like I talk about my kids. So anyway, um, he arguing with me, just going back and forth, like. And then when it's finally over, I tell him like, you don't have to, that's not something you have to do. Like you could just talk to me about it. I was like, it's just too early for you to be exposed to porn. Like it's not a bad thing. Porn is not a bad thing. And so he was just like, what? Like yeah, like just don't expose yourself to porn. And so even now, I said, did you watch the WAP video? Not like WAP is porn or that it's bad or something. He's like, I don't even want to see it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, because Cardi B is married. He was like, yeah. And I was like, and Megan Thee Stallion is like 21 years old or 23 years old. He was like, and I was like, she's old. He's like, that's not old. Like, what, you gonna go out with her or something, you know? But no, he wasn't. So his question that really had us like having a discussion about it was, um, why do people have sex dolls? And I was like, whoa, how do you know this? And you know, it's what is this show with the little guy? I don't know. It's like some shows he watched. So I was like, okay, well, let's talk about it. I was like, first off, it's an inanimate, it's like an object, right? So what is it hurting? Like, it's not really even hurting anything. Like, seriously. And it's their business. And I think that that's the part that we all kind of like get to the point where we just want to be in somebody else's business. That's why I'm in my situation right now, because somebody just want to be in my business. They just have to be in my business. And really, the business is not yours. My business is not your business. You have to take care of your business, just like I take care of my business. You got to keep what you got to like worry about your front yard and your backyard and your side yard, what's going on in your bathroom, and stop worrying about what's going on in somebody else's yard and in their bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So anyway, but anyway, yeah, just not it's just not obvious anyway. But I was like, okay, well, let's talk about it. I was like, give me at least 10 reasons, which he did, and he gave me 9. I was like, okay. So I'm just going back through the discussion I had with him. So the first one is, he said they were disgusting. And I'm like, man, if you clean them, whenever you done, it's really not disgusting. As long as this person isn't hurting you or putting their hands on you, going after children, hurting women, you see what I'm saying? Then I'm like, whatever, do what you do. It's not my business. It's really not. Um, it's just how you do and live your life. Like it's really not your business. And even if you do know, it's not for you to ridicule, because most of the time they have a safe practice as opposed to having an overexposed practice. Okay. And then he said, well, it's a doll. It's not a human. And it's like, well, I know that's true, but again, it's practicing a safe practice. It's not against anybody. It's not hurting anybody, and um, that's what it's for. It's not. It's just so create safe boundaries for yourself, I guess. I don't know. Um, he said it's because of what people say. I was like, again, it's not anybody's business. It's just not. I know I'm probably gonna go through the same thing the whole time, but I was like, it don't matter what people say. It doesn't, because I'm telling you, most likely the people who are saying something, they have very unsafe practices when it comes to sex. And I know it's wild to have a doll, you know, they have, for some person they have a doll that they sleep with or whatever. Um, it's really not. I mean, it's a healthy, safe practice, I believe. So I don't think that having an inanimate object or whatever you have to like make sure you get yourself off is a problem. It's just not. I'm just saying, like, because I would rather have a guy that would do that as opposed to a guy that would go out and have sex without condoms, or go out and just sleep with random women, or go out and rape people, or, you see what I'm saying? It's just like, that's just, it's just, for me, I feel like it's a healthy, safe practices. So again, who cares what people say? Who cares? Because again, the people talking, they usually are like undereducated about sex and different things anyway. They just go, oh God, that's weird. That's weird. But it's never any call to help people who are actually being abused by people who hurt people, who feel like, oh my God, it's so weird that I have to do this, you know? Okay. Um, he said, well, the dolls, they don't talk to him. They don't speak. Like, I don't think that's the purpose anyway, you know? Um, he said they don't walk. They don't walk. Oh, they don't. You know, but you can carry them. You know, I don't know. They don't walk. Um, then he said it was gay. And I was like, wait a minute. That's two different things. I was like, being gay, that's a part of your sexuality. Having a doll for sexual entertainment, that is not the same thing. It's just not. It is not. And I was telling him, like, you cannot always synopsis horrible things with being gay. And I think that's where people make big and bad choices. Like, this was the most important to me, because I feel like sometimes we just take everything that we feel is horrible and put it on gay people. It's like, that is not why a person is gay. A gay person could totally like somebody their own age, you know what I'm saying, and older. So most likely a gay person isn't the one that's molesting the children. You know, just because they gay does not mean they are molesters. Or just because they gay does not mean they have sex with sex dolls. Just because they gay does not even mean they having sex. Like, a gay person could totally be a virgin. Oh my God. What? Huh? Shantae. No. A transsexual could be a virgin. You know, it's like we take all these things, and just because somebody feels a different way about their sexuality, and they allow themselves to express themselves, then we tend to think, well, that's negative. Like, they must be super sexually dysfunctional, and it's never them. It's never them. It's always like the serial killers, and you know what I'm saying, the men who lock themselves away in the basement for hours at a time. Like, you know, so it's always like all these people that we kind of look over. But if somebody is blatant and out about it, why would they then therefore be all these horrible things? And they actually just telling you, hey, all I want to do, I don't feel like I'm myself. I feel like I'm something else. I feel like I'm somebody different. And we'll actually abuse them for that, when really the people that are causing the harm are the people that are causing the harm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, really the people that got all with all the issues are actually the people that actually had us for real problems. Because actually, if we start to study those people, we'll start to find that they are the ones that actually have committed the crimes and done all these things. So they'll be always like, you, Karens, you. I'm trying to do this thing too. Like, it's like, maybe we should start watching Karen's at 10 days after the video, like up to maybe 3 months, 4 months after the videos, and see all the crime that they commit. All the crime they commit. One person was actually on a video committing a crime, and she was actually telling the other guy that he was wrong. So the other guy comes in, parks his car straight, right? And there's an Asian woman, so parks his car straight. Her car is like parked at an angle, and all the parking spots are straight. And she is just like, you are horrible. Look at you. You are never gonna be anything in your life. Like, this lady is really going off. Like, seriously. And she was the one that was committing the crime. It was just a video where the girl said, "Why would you call the police on my 8-year-old child?" You know, and it was like a toy dirt bike or something like that. And she said, "But the white kids come up and down here on lawnmowers." She said, "Is that legal? Is that legal?" And she was like, "No, because that's gonna cause more harm than a kid on a dirt bike, right?" And I'm just like, yeah, don't it make sense? And the whole time, the woman out there trying to defend her point, why she called the police on this 8-year-old black boy. And then she said she didn't even say black boy, she said black person. Black person. And just so happened her husband was a cop. So that's how they knew that it was them. But what if that wasn't the case and a cop came out there anyway? You see the ignorance of people. And so it's almost like, why are we not now investigating them and their psychological disorders? Because now it is true. Now you see what that woman was telling you about racism being a psychological disorder. And they not the only one, like, it's like, for real, some black people too. Me and my son got on the bus and I was putting his mask on. And the lady, she saw like the little strings coming off his mask, and she was like, and she a black woman. Now, she wasn't going to let us on the bus if his mask wasn't on. So when he gets on the bus, she kept saying, tie his mask up, tie his mask up, tie his mask up, tie his mask up. Y'all, I'm talking about completely, just like that. Why the fuck would you do that to me and my child? Like, I had a complete anxiety attack, a complete anxiety, like, this is Confluence Academy. This bitch is like, coming into my classroom telling me to keep the kids quiet. Like, I had a complete fucking anxiety attack. So I just started cut. I was like, this bitch, I'm telling my son about the story from Confluence and what it reminded me of. She going, you gotta get off the bus. We didn't even do anything to you. What did we do to you to get off the bus? What? All we did was get on the bus. That's it. That is it. And so that's the part where I be like, y'all don't even know. You don't even have a clue. Y'all out here taping all these white people. Tape some of these black people too, because they crazy. Like, y'all really think it is an actual psychological disorder. Racism, sexism, misogyny, all that stuff, that is actually a psychological. It ain't no fucking way. And I told my son this too. Because he said he was over somebody's house and one of the little girls said, who in here is gay or something like that, or somebody gay. I said, when people say things like that, they trying to fill out the room to see if they have somebody to help them with their gayness. Because not everybody going to come out. You see what I'm saying? So she making all these derogatory jokes and stuff, trying to fill out the room. Guess what? The girl, she a lesbian. I'm not playing. Y'all think it's not a game. Some of this stuff is actually a psychological disorder. It's not, and y'all could be like, it's caused by pain. It's not. They actually have issues. And now that we see, we need to start calling the hotline and like turn their ass in so they can get some fucking psychological help. Because it's not funny. It's not a joke. It's not a game. So having a sex doll has nothing to do with being gay, straight, Native American, black, white, nothing. That's it. Some people have sex dolls. Some people prefer to engage in that type of activity. The reason why is I could believe that because sometimes they just don't want to hear a motherfucker talk. That's all I'm trying to say. That's it. I mean, for real, for real. Okay. So no procreation, because he was like, they won't be able to, they won't be able to have babies or anything like that. No. It's just totally pop off a nut. That's it. And it's okay. He say, this would have me weak, y'all. He say, it's a toy. It's a choking hazard. Really? Really? I mean, I didn't know he was talking about a Barbie doll. I thought he was talking about a blow-up doll. At this point, I was like, oh, okay. This is the conversation we having. But it was funny. He's like, it's a toy. It's a choking hazard. It is. Do not suck on your blow-up doll's toes or anything like that. Her fingers, don't bust it or anything like that. Like, seriously, it's a choking hazard. That's from our home to yours. That was funny. And then he said, dolls can be possessed. And I was like, okay, all right, no, um, okay. In that instance, I don't know, cause he could have a different calling than me, you know. So anyway, yeah, I just really, cause he talk about this child talk about the other worlds and all that stuff and where we were in another life and all this stuff. I got a deep kid, but yeah, it's like I just say if it's positive or whatever, and they have questions, answer them. And I just made them give me all these reasons because I felt like let's discuss it for real. Let's break it down to why this is or isn't okay, or if it, because there's really nothing wrong with it. And I'm telling you, if it's somebody that has any type of sexual ideas and all this different stuff, as long as it's not hurting somebody, as long as they doing it in a home where everybody's safe and they're safe about it and the woman is okay with it and the man is okay with it, it really isn't anything wrong. It's not our business. If it's abuse, that's a different situation. Yeah, let's get involved. But other than that, it's not, it's nothing that way. It's like I would just, you know what I'm saying? It's like I would prefer too if somebody would just, if that's their sexual activity, then let it be their sexual activity. I don't find anything wrong with it. That's their kink. Everybody had a kink. And some people just don't have kinks. Some people, that's just what they are. So that's it. For today. I did think about Jamie Foxx, but I would like to Plies. Oh my God, Plies has to be my friend. Plies. So anyway, I listened to Plies. He got a like a remix to WAP. Um, not a remix. He got a verse. He said his mama had to call him. That's why I did this show today. He said his mama had to call him to tell him, boy, don't be on there talking like that. Don't be on what I tell you about talking like that on that thing. Yep. That's exactly. And she should have. She should have said something to you out here being bad. Now he is grown. I'm gonna tell y'all, Plies grown. He looked like he about 30 years old. I was like, this nigga look 30. I'm talking about, it's like my first time like seeing him. Like, he was talking, I was just like really into his face. He was doing the thing with his hands, whatever. But um his face, he looked like he about 30 years old. He probably in his 40s. I know he like 40. I did a show. He probably like 44, 45 now. But yeah, that man looked younger than him. He looked 28. I'm serious, like seriously. I'm not lying. He could be like, he could totally tell somebody, oh, I'm 28. And they could totally fucking believe him too. He looked good than a motherfucker. Gooder than a motherfucker. So when I was young, I used to couldn't wait to get with a 40-year-old man. Cause I be like, they gonna have their shoes right. They gonna have them jeans on. They gonna put that, you know what I'm saying? They gonna have them jeans on, them little dark colored jeans they be wearing. They gonna have their little shirt with the little collar, whatever they do. They little hat. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes when they smile, they'll get like them wrinkles like right there. That's the only way you know they 40. Now you don't even know these niggas in their 40s. That man look like he about, for real, 28. 28 years old. I'm serious. I'm not playing. He look younger than hell. I'm serious. What is he doing? He get the facials and he get his pedicure and his manicure. And look, again, I woke up and just got on here. I actually hand washed my face with the grease from my fingers before I started. But I am still using my turmeric. It's like, but I got wrinkles under my eyes today. Oh my God. But yeah, 28. I'm like, this man look good as hell. Okay. Um, yeah, he fine. He fine to me. Y'all be talking about him, but I don't really be taking up for him. I know some girl was like talking about like, girl, why do y'all even like what's the point? I'm like, what is the point? What do y'all point be? I can't stand a hater. I can't. I can't. And it brought me up about the coworker, Ern Milam. And he'll call me with the kids on the phone and be talking about, I'm like, I gotta go because he make me feel so sick and dirty. Like, it's like, I don't like that. Like, I really do think that he gotta I really did think, well, he got like a mental problem. He got a mental disorder. He always talking about people. Like, it be like he can't stop. Like, he can't, like, he don't got no off button. And so he just like, what the fuck wrong with this nigga? You know, is something wrong with him? You know, and then he seemed real feminine and stuff. It's like, maybe he going through a lot. So, like I said, just like with those psychological problems, like, people really have them and they don't even know. They have no clue. No clue. I remember he had a friend at work, and the guy had narcolepsy, and I said, "Oh, what happened to the guy that had narcolepsy or whatever?" He said, "Oh, that nigga dead." What? Like, you just be like, what kind of like, are you yourself okay? Like, do you see the problem that you have with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just be like, this person, that's all he do is just talk, just consistent. Like, it'll be like, y'all for like 15, 20 minutes nonstop. And he'll be doing this with kids on the phone. Kids. So, that's why I know he probably got something to do with it too. It's like, y'all don't understand the ignorance that I have had to deal with over the years. Y'all really don't. You really don't. And so that's my whole thing. Is like, man, these people, they be so messed up. Just like they so messed up and they don't have drugs to help them. Because they mentality, they have psychological disorders. But let's get back to Plies. So anyway, Plies, I'm telling you, he is gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you. And I really wanted him to be my friend because after I heard his verse, I was like, this nigga gonna drown. He gonna drown. Like somebody, he will drown. You hear me? He is going to drown. Like, it's like off that wop, he gonna drown. It's like he gonna end up having to come up for air, and then that's all I'm saying. I heard the verse, I was like, yeah, that's a good verse. That's a good verse right there. That's a good one. Yeah. So he gotta make sure y'all keep him safe. You hear me? Make sure you keep him safe. But yeah, Plies a cool dude. I just like that. But yeah, that's what made me think about the show today. It's just like how my son, because also people will try to make, they did this to Nicki Minaj, they did this to Lil Kim. Like, it's kids out here. Y'all gotta worry about the kids. Like, women always have to be presented some type of way. And that's not true. It's not true. I always tell my son, I'm like, listen to me. For me, I know people would like to say that I was like the church taught me, and it was like all these good people, principles, and all this stuff. And it's like that wasn't the people that taught me. It was like the little gangsters and the guys that didn't go to church, the guys that didn't believe in God, strippers and transsexuals and drag queens. You see, gay women, lesbians, and gay men. So it's not a thing for me. Like, it wasn't all sex. Like, everything that was taught to me was not just sexual. It was like how to keep my home, how to raise my son, all those different things. And it was the way that they did it. Like, um, maybe you would think, well, this a gangster dude. And when this child come home and tell him something, he gonna beat his ass. And that's not what he did. He sat down and talked to me. He's like, no, man, you ain't. What that happened at school? Nah, we ain't tripping off that today. But next time, this what you gonna do. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like he just have a talk with him. So it's like that's what I learned to start to do with my son. I remember when I was little, I had this walk with this guy. He didn't believe in God, and I was like, oh, he didn't go to church either. I was like, you don't go to church? I was like, we gonna have to get you to go to church, cause I just couldn't believe he didn't go to church. And now my son is like, it's not something that's big for us, and now I see why. I understand why. And so it's easier for me to go through those things. When I found out one of my boyfriends was gay, I didn't have to flip out about it because I had already learned from another gay guy that he married his friend, even though she was a lesbian. So it's like a gay guy and a lesbian, they married each other. So they got married, and they were both accepting of each other's lifestyles. So it wasn't something where when it happened, I didn't get upset about it. I never do. Um, and like I'm saying, like it's stripper. She was like the one I come over there, and even though she go out to the club, I ain't ever even know she went to the club, right? I go over there. She even cook for her child. She spend time with her child all day. Me and her child, like I'm her child too. She me and her having projects and making different things for her kid, all these different things. And the only way I knew she was a stripper is because she told me. When she had bad boyfriends, she'll make jokes and stuff like that, and just like it wasn't really nothing to trip off of. And I'm talking about she really wasn't tripping off of it. She'll just tell the story, and she'll tell all the embarrassing stuff too, like all the bad stuff that happened. And she was also the person that helped me appreciate like just how black men were. She was like, wait a minute, what if they were like warriors? She's like, maybe they just like in the wrong place at the wrong time. She's like, what if a guy who has like a black man who has a temple, maybe he's just a warrior, maybe he protective, maybe he this that, and the other. And this is actually coming from a white woman. A white woman was actually the one that was like telling me these things, and I'm just like, that was better than any explanation of a black man than any black woman has ever even given me. And I'm not saying that was like what it was. It's just the area that we in, because a lot of people here that are black have psychological disorders. They racist too. I'm not joking. I also just saw the real man that Dave Chappelle did that thing on with the blind man, the blind racist. Oh my God, man, Dave Chappelle, you was at me. I be crying, y'all, crying, and that's what y'all act like at SIUE. I was weak because I was like, this is just how they be acting. Like, this is how they act without the accent. That's just how they act, and it's just like I can't. It was just like always something. Never any education, just always something, because y'all was gonna be embarrassed. And y'all should have been. You should have been. You still need to be embarrassed today. So yeah, what I'm saying is like just be sure, like it's just make sure you check yourself with all that stuff. Like some of this stuff is just like y'all take it way over the top, and it's like it's not even that serious. It's not. You don't even have to take it that far. You really don't. You don't. I think it's better for you to explain it to your child and just tell them that shit weird. Don't be doing that shit. Don't be doing it. And it's like, well, why is it weird? Like, what will make it weird? And I thought about it, it's like, really, nothing will make it weird. So what? They have a doll. Like, some people are asexual. It's different types of sexualities. This was the time. He's too young now, but if he get older and ask me another question, I'm gonna start teaching him about the different types of sexualities, like asexual. Because some people don't even want to be with other people. Like for real. I don't know if it's a phobia or whatever, but it's just like, or what it is, why they feel that way. But asexuality. Some people are asexual. Some people are bisexual. Some people are pansexual. Whatever that is, I don't even know what that is yet. But it's like when I find out, I teach them and teach myself too. But what I'm saying is just like, for real, it's just so much stuff out here, and we too have to be educated too. And just because it's out there doesn't mean that it's totally disgusting and it's something that we just don't need to be worried about. You know, I would, a asexual friend that's a guy, I would love it. You hear me? Like, that'd just be right up my alley. I know he's not attracted to me, and me and him could just hang out and have a good time, talk and have fun, right? Yes. I'm thinking that's cool. But yeah, it's just like, really, y'all need to really stop and start to think about it. And just how much our kids are already exposed to and what they already know. And if they already know, it's time for you to talk to them about it. You don't want them to just grow up with this misconception about everything. And it'll always be a misconception. They'll never be able to come to you and talk about it. And that's the other thing, you want them to come to you and talk about it. You don't want them to actually go to other people and talk about it, because other people could give them the wrong conception, so the wrong thing. So what if I was like, because in my house we didn't talk about much or anything. It's just like you get a whooping, we'll look at movies and stuff, but we weren't really like, we discuss things like that. So what if I never saw that? And I did that to my son now. So now if I never saw this person discuss anything with his child, I never had that experience with that man that y'all would have thought was so gangster or cool or thuggish or whatever. If I would never had that experience, how now would I then therefore teach my child? What kind of information would I give my child? Would I whoop him for just, you didn't, boy, I can bring your ass. If you beat, I'm going to beat your ass. Or would I just discuss it with him? And so all that stuff, again, it in turn affected my teaching. So what I'm telling you, you know what? Give props to everybody that put in on them. And that go off applies too. I want everybody to have, for everybody that put in on them, I want y'all to have props. Because I know that without other people, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And so, yeah, it was those people. It was those people that you would think for the streets, from the gangs. So all these people that y'all would deem as bad, the church people would deem as bad, Those are the people that taught me. Man, the best one was when the strippers would come from the strip club and be in church with me on Sunday. I love that church stuff because that man ain't not one time did nobody in the church be. They all hugged him and everything like they was just like they came from the club to the church. You hear me? The club to the church. They weren't playing. So, I mean, it's just like, that's all I'm saying. It's like, what if I was never around those people? What if I was never around her? And she was like, and I saw how she welcomed me into her house. And she was honest about who she was. And she was honest about everything she was going through. What if that never happened? What if I met somebody and only if I just met Keisha, and Keisha was the person who was just like, I'm going to take this person, man, and I'm going to get next to this girl so I can be they enemy and all this different stuff. Like, who the fuck does that? Who has warfare to get a man? I mean, like, it's like, I could not understand it. I was like, what the fuck? Is this bitch really telling me that? I just stayed friends with her so I could study what she was doing. I was like, damn, like, I mean, I was really perplexed because I'm still not that kind of woman. Like, I'm still not the person that's gonna make up a plan to steal your man. Like, it's just, why would you? I would rather wake up a plan to keep y'all together. Like, as opposed to me trying to take them. Some things, some realities you just have to face. Like, you ain't no shit you need to be doing. Because then when it happened to you, what are you going to do? Like, what you about to do when it happened to you? So, yeah, it's just like, like all those different things of who you are and who you want to be. You learn those from watching other people. That's what I've learned as a teacher. And I still do. I still watch the students. Because it's still things I need to learn about myself. It's still things I need to learn about the world. And in the end, all I found out was like students were probably the better candidates for me to work with because grown people, y'all got a lot of like taintedness, and it's like students really don't. Like, they really don't, for real. Out of all the classes, I probably only had 5 kids that were probably naturally evil. And I know. But yeah, so it's just, I don't know, I feel like, yeah, have those talks because they know more than what we think or what you think they know. Jeffy, that was it. That's who it was. This Jeffy show. Then you gotta think about Family Guy. And y'all could say, well, don't watch it. They still gonna get exposed to it. They'll still get exposed to it on the playground from overhearing it out of the room on the TV, and they still gonna be curious about it. And ain't no sense in lying about it because it's actually natural. All these things about sexuality, all this stuff is part of being a human being. And so why hide them from that part of themselves? Why lie about it? There's nothing to lie about. He asked me like how we get babies. We have sex. The penis goes into the vagina. That's what the doctor told me. I mean, sure, for sure. And the man ejaculates. The ejaculation finds your egg or whatever. Millions of ejaculations. One ejaculate finds your egg. And he impregnates you. You can be impregnated through your tube, or you can be impregnated through your uterus. And if you impregnated through your tube, it's called an ectopic pregnancy, and it usually has to be removed. So all these different things, man, it is time for y'all to start to educate your children because there is no way. There is no way. I think that I have gone through all this because men have been miseducated. Like, I'm telling you, it is because they don't have the proper type of education. I put you out of my room because you don't know how to have sex with me, and y'all end up telling me that I need a taste of my own medicine, like I need to be raped. You see what I'm saying? How that just got construed to something different, and it's like that wasn't even what was really going on. I would call them over there, but then they'd be like, "Oh no, you don't know what you're doing." So I cannot partake in this situation with you. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know. During my experimental time, that was me experimenting with my time on campus. It wasn't for anybody else to control my sexuality. It was for me to control my own sexuality. And so, yeah, just because a woman says no to you or she does not want you in that kind of way, that does not mean that is now therefore punishment because she knows more than you about her body. It's her body. She's supposed to. So yeah, I really do. I think y'all really need to start educating these men. You cannot blow in somebody's ass or in their vagina. It causes an actual issue. Because some men be thinking they gotta blow your pussy and your boot. Don't do that. You don't have to blow into something. You don't have to blow. We are not balloons. Do not blow into a woman's vagina. Don't actually blow like it's a fuck. You are actually causing her issues inside of her body. Make sure that you're not smoking. If you do smoke, you need to go in your bathroom and wash your hands like you got oil on it, like you got actual car oil on it, like you need to wash your hands and brush under your fucking nails before you touch her pussy, because that cigarette, that nicotine shit'll fuck up her coochie. It's just like y'all really do kind of really gotta understand what y'all do. If you a nasty nigga and you don't brush your teeth, the bacteria will actually give her a bacterial infection, from your mouth. So it's like you gotta really go in there and brush your fucking teeth. Or don't eat a pussy. Did y'all know also cavities? If a person has a cavity, or if you have a cavity somewhere in your mouth, it'll spread because the cavity stuff, it spreads, right? So it's actually kind of like a contagion. So if you have a cavity, you could actually, if you use somebody's toothbrush with a cavity, you could get a cavity too. It's stuff that you should not, it's just some stuff as human beings we should not be doing. If you don't share the same alleles and you go to somebody's house and they sheets greasy, you would end up with a ringworm or a skin rash. That looks like it could be eczema because this person does not wash their sheets. And a lot of men, they won't. A lot of men won't wash their greasy ass sheets. And y'all will be in there fucking on their greasy ass sheets. And you just up here and got a fucking ringworm or something like that. I'm serious. This shit is serious. So that is why I was really particular about having guys and all, you know what I'm saying? Because it just wasn't. I'm a very sensitive person, and I learned this in school. The first time I knew I had eczema, I got a spot on my forehead. I had to end up using different soap and all this different stuff. Again, $10 to the doctor. It wasn't nobody's fault, but still, I had to pay the money to go to the doctor. And they'll tell you, man, she'll stop us. For real, I just be like, no, we are not. Not today. You don't know what you're doing, and I ain't finna end up nowhere else. I'm about to get on this computer and get on ICQ and check. You see what I'm saying? That's how I was. So, what I'm saying is from my stories, that's all I wanted was for people to be educated. I wanted men, boys, women, children to be educated about their own bodies, about who they were and what they needed to do, and how it wasn't probably a problem. Sometimes the worst thing that could happen, bacterial vaginosis, it may not even come from having sex. A yeast infection may not even come from having sex. It could actually totally come from underwear. So a yeast infection, if a woman gets a new pack of underwear and they have color, you need to wash them. If you want to keep the color, put a little vinegar in the wash instead of fabric softener, because the fabric softener will actually could cause a yeast infection if it's still on your underwear. So you want to wash them first with a little bit of vinegar and washing powder. That's it. And you probably want to get free and clear or draft. If you're sensitive like me, get free and clear or draft. Okay. Next, because that will cause a yeast infection. If you a guy and you get your woman a new pair of underwear, wash them bitches first. Don't just let her put them on after the store. That shit ain't cute. That shit, that's how a lot of people got messed up too in school. Buying that shit from Victoria's Secret, other girls being there rubbing them and shit. No, 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 no. You gotta wash that when you get it home. So wash your underwear when they brand new, even if they in a pack, because the dye can actually give you a yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis. So even if your pH balance is off or whatever, again, you could have so many things that cause bacterial vaginosis, and in both of those instances, nobody even has sex. Nobody has sex. So you really have to really, really start to educate people on what they doing, and that's it. It's just that is just it. Just educate them so they know. They know. It don't mean that the person nasty. It don't even mean that the person had a problem or nothing. That girl could have totally been a clean motherfucker. Going to the store, get herself a new underwear. She got a job. You know what I'm saying? And then she end up with a yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis because it's a dye in her that does not agree with her body. Because pussy is actually a very sensitive part of our bodies. So what you put on it makes a big difference. It does. Just like when y'all pretend to say y'all allergic to these fucking condoms and y'all not. So then if you allergic to it, me and you just gonna lay here and masturbate, nigga, cause you are not putting your dick in me. And that's all I'm trying to tell y'all. It's just that's the shit they do. I'm allergic to nigga, get your ass on. So anyway, at the end of the day, I'm just saying, educate them. Educate them, educate them, educate them, educate them all along the way. Because if not, we just go end up with more problems with it, with them thinking that sexual things are okay and it's not. A lot of this shit is just not okay. It's not. And that's not how it is. No, that is not. The porno does not show you the true awareness of what it's like. It really does not. So you, outside of the porno, you need to go ahead and get down and dirty and get embarrassed about the shit that you don't know how to do and the problems that you cause to other women and their vaginas. Okay? So yeah. Anyway, Shantae, Brown Sugar Talk under Black Unicorns. Please, please, please have just a wonderful day. Have a good day.